Hey everybody, welcome back to Worship Coach. I'm so glad that you chose to hang out with me today. Today, we are going to talk about how to lead worship in any culture. You ever thought about that before? Can you use your gifts? Are you still effective in any culture? This is one of my favorite things to talk about today, and that is, can we lead worship in any type of culture that we find ourselves in? Now, here's what I want you to think about for a minute. The framework of being a missionary. Now, if you were about to take a missions trip and you were about to go to another country somewhere, what's one of the first things that you think you would do? Well, for me, it would be learn the language, learn the culture, and learn the history. Right? If we were all going to go to Chile together, I wouldn't go to Chile and expect everybody in Chile to speak English or to know American culture or to have embraced American culture. And then when I go over there as a missionary, I expect them to sort of, meet my needs as an American, right? We would do that on a missions trip. We would do that as a missionary. Can we do the same thing when it comes to worship leading? See, here's the deal. Here's what's missing right now in the way that we are taught when we come through Bible colleges and worship institutes. And that is, we are essentially sort of being trained to minister to people that look like us. We're kind of being trained to minister to, maybe an all-white church or an all-black church or an all-Korean church or whatever it is, kind of unknowingly, right? But I believe that if you've been called by God as a worship leader to lead people into God's presence, to lead them in musical worship, that your gifts should be able to be used wherever you find yourself, right? So in order to do that, I want to encourage you. Learn the language, learn the culture, learn the history. Even here in our country, you can put these things into action no matter where you find yourself. And that could be whether you're from the East Coast and you're going to kind of the Midwest to lead worship. You want to know what is the language of the place you're going to, what matters to them, what is the culture like, what is the history like for them. If you find yourself and you're a young white guitar playing, flannel wearing kind of guy, and that's what you do, you want to know that you could go into an African American church in the city, right, and still have your gifts and your worship leading abilities still be just as relevant in that space. But you got to learn. You got to learn the language. You got to learn the culture. You got to learn the history. I'm saying this to you today so that you will be encouraged that your gifts are not limited just to your own people group, that your gifts are not limited just to your own context. But you have to take on the mindset of a missionary in order to have this be effective. So lean in and lead well. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me about what challenges you face when you go into another culture to try to lead worship. I look forward to hearing from you. I'll see you later.